Hello everyone and welcome to HSC203 Assignment 1. This is a short clip just to give you an overview of the assignment, what's required in the assignment and some of the possible pitfalls or traps for the unwary. Okay, so this first assignment is a narrative or a story. The main requirement of the assignment is to do a health biography or an autobiography of an Indigenous person as a representative or personalisation of an Indigenous health topic or topics. Stay with me on this and hopefully it will become clear. This is about putting the face to the facts, as it were, and telling the stories that come with the statistics, and it's also the story of an individual's health journey. So you choose an Indigenous person, tell their story and tie it in with some background or an overview of the related Indigenous health issue or issues. They can and often do have more than one condition or illness. Of course, you can only do this with the person's permission, and you will need to de-identify them and their community unless it's public domain. So there are two options for choosing a person.
The first one is the one that I just mentioned, choosing an Indigenous person that you know of, either as a client or a co-worker or a friend or relative. And so you can talk to this person with their permission, and please assure them that the assignment will only ever be be seen by them, you as the writer of the story, and the person marking the assignment. It will not be going into the public domain. But you'll have to de-identify them, as I said before. The second option, if you don't know anyone or don't have access to anyone, the second option is you can look into the lives of some well-known Indigenous Australians who've battled some kind of health issue or issues. This information is in the public domain. That means you can go in and access it. So, and again, you'll need to ask yourself questions like, how might this health condition or conditions impacted on the person, their family, their community, and perhaps even the wider community? It's recommended that you read and search widely, not wildly. In the assignment information in LearnLine, there's a list of suggested names there. That's just to give you some ideas. Some people that have more obvious health issues than others, and for some people it might be the impact of racism, or it might be the impact of being a member of the stolen generation, or they might actually have a form of cancer, or there's any number of issues. So again, this is part of getting you to think broadly about what health and wellness means, and particularly what it means in the Indigenous health context. So we're broadening your horizons, but you have to very clearly link the person, their background, and their health issue or issues. I hope that makes sense. So you'll need to ask yourself questions like, okay, so as an Indigenous person in this particular context, and I know I've said this before, but I need to keep repeating this, so you're not just telling their story, born in 1967 and blah blah blah. You're saying, okay, so who are they, and what impact has their story had on their health, and vice versa. So as I said before, how might this particular health condition or conditions impacted on the person and perhaps the wider community? I'll also urge you to look closely at the marking sheet, and that spells out quite clearly what you have to do. So you have to choose an Indigenous person, whether someone you know or know of, or someone in the public domain.
you have to clearly identify what the specific Indigenous health topic is and why it's an issue. You need to also indicate your reasons for telling this story and what the impact or impacts are on the individual, family and community. I've mentioned this a few times, so clearly that's important. You need to communicate clearly, so you need to proofread and edit, or at least get someone else to help you with that, your assignment, so it makes sense to the person marking it. You also need to, when you reference, and you should know why and how to reference, that's for acknowledging other people's work and the sources that you use. You need to use the APA 6th referencing style. You need to also check the assignment for plagiarism, and you need to have some kind of structure. So you need to have an introduction, a middle, discussion, and then the conclusion. Quite a few people fall down and or sort of forget to have a conclusion. So that's very important. You also need to submit the assignment file as requested. So, label it the submitted assignment file as requested. That is with your surname or family name first, your initial, the unit code, and what the assignment actually is. That's also, there's plenty of information around and about that. Look, I think that's pretty much it. There are examples on the on LearnLine, and also the assessment will be discussed in the Collaborate classes, and I'm sure there are plenty of other students around that you can check with. Good luck.